Hello, everyone. How are you? I wanted to invite you to a men's retreat that I will be holding on July 7th, 8th, and 9th at the Gaiaville Retreat Center in the Catskills Mountains, which is Western Sullivan County. In the heel of a very successful women's retreat that happened last week, we are now going to be focusing the month following mid-July, 7th, 8th, and 9th, on doing a men's retreat entitled Healing the Patriarchy, the Gift of the Divine Masculine. Now, as a man, I can be very completely candid and honest with you and tell you that most of my life I felt like a fraud. For the external paradigm of what it is to be masculine, every time I attempted to step into that role, it left me completely depleted, weak, and feeling absolutely horrible inside. The idea of conquering, dominating, taking control, don't take any prisoners, being the alpha male is not something internally in my heart I connect to at all. As a sensitive and intuitive man, which in this paradigm says that I'm soft, that I'm not alpha, and there's something wrong with me, there was always a split, a schism inside of me. On the one hand, I felt much more comfortable being a sensitive man, yet at the same time, wanting to become alpha and become embody this archetypes. But what I have learned in the process of self-healing is that that whole perception of masculinity is highly toxic and is actually not what the true masculine is about. I'm inviting men in my extended community to join me for a 3-day exploration into first understanding our relationship with our fathers or male role models. Because our impression of what the masculine should be comes from there. If any of you had had any toxic relationship with your fathers, you somehow got contaminated with a toxic representation of the masculine. Now, you may have had that relationship and tried to rebel against it, and as a matter of fact, created a strong position to go opposite, but deep in your core, what you repressed becomes bigger. So some of us may end up being to our children, to our sons and our daughters, in some perverted way, what our fathers were. The sins of the fathers are repeated on the sons. So the idea now is to understand that toxicity through this first day of this workshop, of this retreat, and then dismantling the connection that you have with the masculine, and also asking forgiving your fathers, and more importantly, forgiving yourself if ever you had embodied that paradigm and manifested in your life. The second day of the retreat, I will be talking and leading the group into a conversation about emotional intelligence. I will be teaching emotional intelligence. And on the third day, we will be talking and understanding the corrected archetype, what in Kabbalistic and spiritual terms is often referred to as the original Adam. I will be talking about the myth of Adam, the myth of Cain and Abel, who biblically were the first sons of Adam that actually, Cain actually killed Abel, and everything began to fall down from there. And we will conclude with the myth of the prodigal son returning back, the parable of the prodigal son returning back to the father. Okay? I do hope you join me for this exploration. It's an invitation to all of you who feel like me that the existing paradigm of the masculine is seriously diseased and is in need of repair. May you be blessed, and thank you for listening. You have a blessed day.